Man, oh man, it's been a minute since I made a Genshin Impact video. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Genshin Impact. So, the last video that I did was me talking about the Capitano versus Mavuika fight. And in this video, I want to talk about what the hell happened in the version 5.1 Archon quest. Like, I literally just finished it, and it was crazy. It was a crazy ass quest, and there are a lot of things for me to talk about. Now, I'm a huge lore person, but when it comes to explaining the lore, I'm not the best at it. There are way better people when it comes to, lore explanation, but I just want to share my observation and share my opinions and theories. So, first things first, for the Capitano versus Mavuika fight, for all the Capitano simps out there, including me, unfortunately, he took the L because in this quest, he literally told us, he was like, I lost the fight. My objective was to take the Gnosis from the Pyro Archon, and I failed at doing that, so therefore I lost. And that's fair. He said that he lost. He admitted it, so therefore he lost. Even though, he said that he didn't go full power. I mean, he not go full power, but he wasn't at his full power because of because of the fact that because by the way, guys, spoiler alert, he is Conrian. He is from Conria. So he's pretty like he's not the prime version of himself, and we weren't able to see peak Capitano go up against Mavuika. So unfortunately, seems like we're never going to see that, but it pretty much shows how powerful he is. Now, besides the point, now the craziest part about the version 5.1 Archon quest is this up here. So if I teleport to this spot up here, this is actually crazy because I didn't know that they were going to bring this back into the game. Like, I didn't know they were going to bring this huge lore back into the game. Probably like during, you know, version 7.0 when we enter Conria. But when you guys look behind me and when we look at the sky, you guys can see that there are shattered, fragments in the sky, which is absolutely insane. This is a huge change to the open world. And the reason is because of after Mavuika, when she, used her ultimate attack to push back the abyss, her attack was so powerful that she ended up pushing through that barrier, and we were able to see the fake sky. And behind the fake sky was moon fragments, shattered moon fragments. This is insane. Like, you guys don't know how big this is because number one, I think it's already confirmed that the fragments that we see up here, this is probably one of the three Moon Sisters. And I'm not going to go into too much details about the Moon Sister lore, but there's pretty much a lore in the game where it talks about the fact that there were three moons that existed in Tevat, and two moons pretty much got destroyed, and there's only one left. And that one moon left, if I go ahead and speed up the time, go and speed up the time, let's go to nighttime. So the only moon remaining is the one that we see during the night all the time. So I fast forward it and we take a look at the sky right here. So this moon right here, that's the one that we see all the time. And I think that's one of the moon sisters. But the one that we see shattered in the background right there is one of the moon sisters. That's what I'm assuming because those look like moon fragments. It definitely looks like moon fragments 100%. And this is just crazy. So another thing that I also want to talk about that ties to this whole moon fragment thing in the fake sky is, you guys remember for version 1.1 we had that quest with Scaramouche where he was talking about, the fake sky. I think it was over here by Musgrave. He was talking about the fake sky, saying that, the skies are fake, it's not real. And we didn't believe him at that time, but hey, that guy was not lying. He was telling the truth. He was not capping. Scaramouche was speaking straight facts. I think the only person who believed him was Mona at that time, but it's just crazy that it's actually true. Like, we literally see shattered moon fragments in the sky. And like, bro, I was not expecting them to drop this lore in 5.1. Like, this is just completely mind-blowing to me. So Another thing that we also have to take into account is one of the four shades that they discussed in the Archon quest. I think her name was Renova, the god of death, something like that, the goddess of death. I think it was the Lord of Death. I forgot, but she's one of the shades, and it's pretty much confirmed that the shades are under the heavenly principles authority. So the shades, they can't really do whatever they want because the heavenly principles is pretty much in charge. And this, I think this pretty much confirms that the war between the primordial one and the heavenly principles, the primordial one pretty much lost. And the heavenly principles, I think, is probably the first or second descender. I have no idea. But the fact that the shades are pretty much under the heavenly principles, that confirms that the primordial one did lose the war between the heavenly principle. So that was another huge lore drop, it like lore dump as well. And the fact that they, dropped the name of one of the shades, Renova, I was not expecting that. Like that's actually really really good. But the Renova, she was this close to not Renova, but there was like this device that Capitano found with Auroron. I think that's how you say his name. But he found this device, and this device was like an angel or seal or whatever. And this device pretty much said that she knows the name. I think she knows the name of the heavenly principle, but she doesn't want to say it. So, there's just so much information, bro. Like, I cannot wait for them to unravel. Like, I just can't wait to unravel this information between, like, Celestia, Conria. Like, we're literally getting closer and closer to the truth. The fact that we can see the shattered moon fragments right now and we can see, like, the fake sky is crazy. Like, we're actually here. Like, we're actually seeing the fake sky. Like, it's in our eyes right now. I was never expecting this to happen. And we are going to have, the next Archon quest. I think it's going to be next update or probably 5.3. But for the next Archon quest, it's pretty much going to be a huge battle between the Pyro Archon and the Abyss. And we're pretty much going to go with her. And what I'm really excited about for the next Archon quest is that it's just going to be the Traveler and the Pyro Archon. What would be very dope is the fact that the whole quest pretty much focuses on this huge fight between Pyro Archon, Traveler, and the Abyss. If it's like literally a whole quest of just them throwing hands, I'm all here for it. So I'm really excited for the next Archon quest. But I do wonder, when are they going to open, the remaining areas of Natlan? Because we still haven't unlocked the volcano yet. I thought we were going to have access to the volcano by in this update version 5.1, but it seems like that's not the case, and I don't think we're going to have it in version 5.2. So there are a lot of locations that we still don't have access to in Natlan, and I do wonder, when are we going to unlock them in the future. So there's like so many things to unravel here in Natlan, but out of all of the Archon quests that we have in the game, was this the best Archon quest in the game? In terms of lore, in my opinion, I feel like this was the biggest Archon quest in terms of lore. We got the fake sky. We pretty much got our first, like, we pretty much got information on one of the shades, Renova. They pretty much name dropped her. We got information on the heavenly principles. Like, there's just so much info in this update. And I will say, in terms of lore, this was definitely the best Archon quest when it comes to lore. And this might be a stretch here, but you guys can see the shattered moon right there. It's in perfect like line with Celestia. You guys can see Celestia all the way over there, and the shattered moons is right here. It's pretty obvious that the heavenly principles are behind this. But the greatest question is, why why did they make this fake sky? Why are they trying to, hide this moon? Like, why are they trying to hide this? Because it's pretty obvious that there's a lot of other things that they're hiding behind this fake sky, but they just don't want to show the people of Teyvat that. So Mavuika is pretty much speculating that the heavenly principles or Celestia, they're pretty much keeping secrets, and that's why they created this whole fake sky thing, and we really can't see what's going on behind the sky that we see in the game right now. So it's pretty obvious that the more we progress in the story, I'm pretty sure by SNES there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to see in the open world. And at first, it was just Celestia being like, the only thing we see in the sky with the moon. And now we have a shattered moon in the sky right now. This is crazy, bro. Like, this is actually crazy. I was not expecting them to, progress and continue this big sky lore. But that's pretty much all I wanted to go over with you guys in this video. Wanted to talk about the fake sky, how they're bringing this back, and it seems like this is going to be a huge part of the story. And them name dropping one of the shades, giving us information on the heavenly principles, and of course Capitano. I also wanted to talk about Capitano real quick. So Capitano in this quest, he gave me like, okay, my first impressions on Capitano was that, number one, I thought he was going to be some sort of badass villain who who's literally just here just to throw hands, but that's not the case. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. He is from Conria, and I don't really think he has any ulterior motives. Like, I don't think he has any secret plans that he's keeping behind our backs. I think he's a genuinely nice person. Like, he's actually a good person because he came from Natlan. He experienced the destruction of not Natlan, my apologies, Conria. He experienced the destruction of Conria firsthand, and he didn't want to experience that again in Natlan. So therefore, that's the main reason why he's pretty much helping Mavwika out. He's helping out the Power Archon because he doesn't want history to repeat itself once again, and that's actually pretty dope. So that made me like his character a lot more because I feel like he has a lot more secrets that we don't know about. And of course, of like the mask that he has on his face, like the mask, like I want to know much more about this character. But there's another thing I also want to, like, another theory is that I think Capitano might be the one who's gonna die because Mavwika, they said that the device that Sitlali and Jalonin, the device that they were talking to, she said that the Power Archon has to die because she used Renova's ability, like she used her power, and the consequences of that is that she has to die. And Capitano, at the end of the Archon quest, we saw him go back to the device and he talked to, and he said, can you do this for me? We don't know what it is. So why do I have a feeling, now this is a theory, this is not 100%, but why do I have a feeling that he's gonna take the Power Archon's place and he's gonna be the one who's gonna die? And if that's the case, bro, I'm gonna be so mad because, number one, he's not gonna be playable. He's not gonna be playable if he's dead. And if he still is playable, if he dies, that's gonna be dope. But if he ends up dying, man, that's gonna be so unfortunate. And I hope that's not the case. I hope he doesn't, take her place. Hopefully something else happens. If not, it'll be very interesting if the Power Archon ends up dying. Like, that's actually gonna be crazy. So, there's so much things to take into account here, and that Archon quest was just a huge info dump. Like, there was just so much information, my brain was about to explode. But out of all the Archon quests, in terms of lore, this was definitely my favorite so far. Now, when it comes to the war segment of the Archon quest, this is the last thing I want to go over. So there are some complaints I have for the war segment of the Archon quest because half of the Archon quest was the war. Like, this was like the biggest part of the Archon quest. And my biggest complaint is that the deaths of the NPCs, like, it just wasn't that impactful. It wasn't impactful because we had no connections with these NPCs. I'll say the only NPC we had connection with was Chaska's sister, but other than that, it's like all the other NPCs who died, I was like, damn, that sucks, but whatever, let me go ahead and continue. Like, I wasn't really affected by their deaths. But if they made a like if they actually killed a playable character, I feel like that would have been more impactful because no, when it comes to Genshin, playable characters, we just have more connection with playable characters because they give them more attention, they give them more focus. Like they focus on playable characters way more than NPCs. So a perfect example would be um Orion, whatever his name is, the guy who pretty much worked with this guy right here. If he died, that would have been way more impactful than some random NPC who we don't even know, who died off screen. So the like they pretty much showed us like a death count, in the war. Like they showed us like 1,000 or 2,000 people died. It sucks, but like it's just not that impactful because it's not a character that we actually know and a character that we actually have a connection with. So I will say one of my biggest complaints is that this would have been the best, like this would have been a perfect opportunity for Hoyoverse to kill off a playable character and make the story, 10 times more impactful. The only character who was close to dying in this game was Zhao. He was the only one who was close to dying, and Zhongli saved him, and that's it. Some people still complain about that until this day. Some people are saying, Zhao he should have died because that would have made the story a lot better. I kind of agree. I feel like if Zhao died, that would have made the story a lot more impactful, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. So that's one of my complaints right there. And another complaint is when we got on the hot air balloon. Like sometimes they'll make us get on the hot air balloon, and if I'm being honest, that shit took way too long. Like we were like, I remember there was like one part where after we had to destroy, like, okay, I think it was like the abyss. Like the abyss was sitting down these rocks, and you could like the traveler could not destroy these rocks. So therefore, we took the hot air balloon and we pretty much retreated to the Children of Echoes. We went to their territory, and it took a long time for us to reach there. And I think, the reason why they did that is because they wanted to see, what happened, how many people died and stuff like that. But while we were on that hot air balloon, there were some battles that took place, and there was like one battle where they showed a couple NPCs just standing there, and then the abyss monsters just standing there doing absolutely nothing. I was about to laugh. Like the way that they showed, the fights in the open world, I feel like they could have put in a lot more effort, make it a lot more, entertaining so that you can actually see how dire the situation is. So those are like my two biggest complaints. But other than that, this Archon quest was dope. This Archon quest was very, very dope. Unfortunately, some characters they weren't voice acted due to some issues. But other than that, great Archon quest. Looking forward to the final Archon quest. Like this right here is crazy. The fake sky, I can't believe this is real. Man, that's wild. But tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below about this Archon quest. What do you guys think about the fake sky? If you guys have any theories, share them in the comment section down below. I want to see, your theories, what you guys think, and give me any information you guys have, because I really want to know, more lore, more information as up to why there's a fake sky to begin with, and why are there shattered moon fragments behind fake sky or whatever. It's insane. But I'll be catching you guys soon. Peace.